Am I the only guy that's not worked up about all this pre-order stuff? I mean, the internet has just been on fire for the last week or two, couple weeks, with all these pre-order controversies. The PS5 going up a day early, Mario 3D All-Stars, everybody thinking it was going to be this limited thing, and then it didn't really turn out to be so limited, at least not up front. Now, today, everybody's talking about the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, the pre-orders being an absolute mess because people just couldn't get them. I mean, websites were down all over the place. Best Buy, Walmart, the Microsoft Xbox website itself. Rich at ReviewTech USA, he's streaming as I record this right now, and he's talking about the mess, how hard it was for people to get their hands on pre-orders. And I just keep thinking, I don't care. I see YouTubers after YouTubers all over the place. They're all talking about these pre-orders and how hard they are to get. And you know what? I understand if you're a certain type of content creator, who reviews games and stuff like that, I understand needing to pre-order a console and make sure that you've got it there day one because your business depends on it. But for the average Joe out there, I understand there are a select group of people who are early adopters and who always want to, it's almost like bragging rights or something, I guess, to have a console or a game on launch day and be the first one to talk about it or the first one to, experience a new platform or whatever. I guess I understand that, but that's just not for me. Like, I've always been the kind of guy that waits. Anytime anything comes out, I'm always somebody that will sit back and wait for a while and make sure that the technology is actually viable, make sure that the console is actually well built, see what the return rates are. We've seen with console after console things like the Red Ring of Death and problems with the launch PS3s and stuff like that. So many different problems with early launch consoles. I've never really been all that interested in stepping up to the plate on day one and standing in line at a GameStop or something like that, through the middle of the night just to pick up something that's probably not going to be the ideal version of that console going forward anyway. We've all seen, fairly early in a console's life cycle, in the first couple of years, there is generally a revision, and that revision is generally better, whether it's better battery life on the newer Switch, or whether it's smaller and better handling high temperatures and things like that on things like the 360 and the Xbox One. The launch Xbox One was a nightmare in a lot of ways because of the way it handled heat and also a lot of the problems with the early GUI. The funny thing is, because I generally wait a good long time for consoles to mature before I buy them, I tend to have consoles that last me forever. I actually just bought, 4 or 5 days ago, I just bought an Xbox One S. Now, this is my second Xbox One. I had an Xbox One S about a year and a half ago. I sold it when I moved, but I was pretty happy with the console at the time, and I'm happy to have another one again. My son has my PS4 Pro, which I wasn't really all that interested in, except for a handful of exclusives. There's maybe 10 games I want to play on that console that I can't play anywhere else, but I'm not in any hurry. See, this is what I've discovered, having a collection like this, I will never in my entire life be able to play every single game that I have ever wanted to play. There's just not enough hours in the day. Of the hundreds of games that I have right here for consoles like the Xbox and the GameCube and the PS2 and PS3, I have hundreds of games that I haven't played yet. And I just don't feel the need, as I said, I just bought an Xbox One S this week, and I've spent 3 or 4 days installing new games to it. I subscribed to Game Pass, got my hands on quite a few cool games that I haven't played yet. Forza Horizon 4, and I actually picked up copies of a couple of games that I already have on the Nintendo Switch, but I wanted to play them on a bigger format, on a nice big TV, so I've tried out Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, and oh god, what else did I get? Ori and the Blind Forest, and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. So these things are going to keep me busy for months. I have no need whatsoever to go out and get a next-gen console, and it really makes me wonder, maybe if you're that kind of gamer who chews through games like crazy, and you started at launch of the PS4 or the Xbox One, and you played every game that interested you all the way through the console's life cycle. Okay, I guess I get it, you're excited for something new, something fresh, but we see this time and time again. There are barely any games available at launch, and in the first year or two of any console's life cycle, all you see are remakes and remasters and ports. You're going to see, games like Skyrim and Minecraft and older Call of Duty games getting graphically upscaled and re-released over and over and over again because the developers have not had enough time to create new original content at the volumes that people would expect. So most of these consoles, the PS4 is launching with a nice handful of games, or, some are going to be following soon enough, but it's not a huge volume. And when you factor in the secondary market, and you factor in the fact that you will be definitely able to buy each and every one of these games for half price or less 6 months down the road, you really got to wonder what's in it for the average consumer in buying in early. Is it just the bragging rights? I don't know, because for me, I'm buying an Xbox One S 6 years, 7 years into this life cycle now. I'm really just starting to invest in that. And you know what? I'm picking up Xbox One games for $5 and $10 all over the place. Now's the time to get into Xbox One. So it really makes me wonder, and please sound off in the comments, guys, because I'd really like to know, what is it about the new generation, any new generation, that pulls you in on day one, that has you struggling to get those pre-orders? Because for the life of me, I just can't fathom giving a shit. Like, 6 months from now, I'll be able to just walk into an EB Games and buy an Xbox off the shelf. What's the rush? Let me know in the comments, guys. Stay classy.